Dear Principal at Made Up Elementary, today we're going to be going over our 5-year plan for Made Up Elementary's library. Our 5-year goal is to be focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion. These categories or topics were chosen because this is going to have the greatest impact on our shareholders, our students, our parents, our staff. Our plan is to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion so students can learn at their own pace. We can have staff development, collaboration, increase our makerspace, as well as encourage others to come to the library and have a safe spot. So why does diversity, equity, and inclusion matter? It matters because when you look at COVID, what we saw was there was a disproportionate amount of students who were in the haves and have-nots. Many of our students are low-income minorities. They live in the country. They do not have reliable internet. They do not have a computer at home. We need to address this. In fact, All for Ed addresses that 16.9 million children could not have internet access at home. This disparity is going to impact our students. They are going to have a harder time finding their voice if they are not familiar with different web platforms, if they cannot type, if they cannot be computer literate, as well as if they are not able to tailor their learning to that student. One of the easiest ways to tailor learning, even though it is not the only way, is through technology. So Black, Latino, American Indian, and Alaska Native make up 30% of the population without high-speed internet. Each of those are their own category of 30%. Additionally, 17% of each of those categories do not have a computer at home. Their only form of internet would be their phone, which is not enough for these students to stay ahead and to stay relevant. We need to meet these students. We need to make sure we are hitting all of our students, not just on our diversity, but our equity of how much money they have, and inclusion. If we have students who are mobility limited, sight limited, hearing limited, we need to be meeting those needs as well so their education is not stilted. So what are we going to do for the next 5 years? How are we going to address this problem? We are going to write grants to increase the technology to get devices and hotspots into students' hands. While technology is not technically required, it allows for more ways for students to use their voice. We're going to have makerspace activities both in the library and on carts that teachers can take to their classroom that are going to meet the different needs of our students, promote different cultures, abilities, learning styles, and more. We're going to have displays that feature different colors, orientations, and backgrounds. Our students are going to see themselves in the library. When they go to the library, they're going to find books that they can relate to, materials they can relate to, activities they can relate to. It's going to become a place they can recruit others to come in. So that means they're going to see, hey, this is fun, we're doing all these amazing things, have others come join. It's going to become a safe place for them, a place they can go where they feel welcome and loved and included and seen. We're going to make it a place where students can learn how to meet their needs of their individual students, how they're going to make this professional learning environment, how they're going to teach these computer skills to these students who may not have these devices at home, how we're going to personalize their learning, how we're going to include them, how we're going to make every student seen, heard, have their needs met. And we can do that with the how. The how is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be working on grants. One of the reasons this is a 5-year plan is it's not going to happen instantaneous. We are going to get those grants for hotspots, for more technology. We're going to look and pull reports of what books are being checked out and what are our high need areas. What are our students and how are they being seen? If we have Vietnamese students to the campus, are there books in Vietnamese to make them feel welcome? We're going to be having guest speakers come in and introduce their backgrounds that students can relate to. We'll have labs where we have maker spaces where the kids are creating, building, getting to find their own voice. Our collection is going to include more diverse literature that meets the needs of all of our students. For our vision impaired, we're going to increase our Braille collection so that our students can be reading. For our mobility impaired, we're going to move our books lower so that those kids in our wheelchairs can access those books. We're going to be increasing that technology, which has text-to-speech for our kids with dysgraphia. We're going to be giving kids who may be silent another way to have a voice, and that might be through technology. That might be through writing their own plays and dramas. That might be through different creations and pixel art. We're going to have art projects to meet our artistic students. Through all this, our results is we expect to see the number of checkouts in our library increase by 10%. We have to expect to have our end of year surveys with 75% satisfaction. At least hold one night event a year for our parents who can't come during the day. Train our teachers with at least one PD a year on collaboration or makerspace or how to reach their students. We're going to increase our technology by at least 2%, and we're going to create a mobile maker lab over the next 5 years. These are some of the resources I use to help support the fact that we need this for our students and our population.